summer recipes for your hot pool party, as well as new music for you to download. All that and more coming up next on OCTV. Your host of OCTV, Miss Steph Sutton, and we are here in an undisclosed location in New York City. Nevertheless, we cannot let that interfere with us bringing you the latest and greatest in fashion, news, and entertainment. We brought in our chef to give you some exclusive recipes to keep that summer party going. Make sure you stay locked for all that coming up next on OCTV.
Icebreaker Kitchen dish you could use on your grill, but make it home and it'll look like a dish you put on the grill. Not only that, it's a nice play on a dish that if you go into some of the restaurants now, you'll see these gourmet pizzas and you'll see them as appetizers and entrees. Well, this is going to look like one of those appetizers and entrees, but you can make it at home for very little and come back looking like the hero. So we're going to go ahead and get started. First thing, you talk about crust, and you'll see people get the, we were talking about a Boboli crust and some of these other crusts out there. You don't have to go and look for a pizza crust. Look for bread you like. Like what we've got here is naan bread. It's an Indian bread. You'll see it in a lot of Indian restaurants, but it's nice, it's light, it's got a little bit of a crisp on the outside, but it's nice and soft on the inside. So we're gonna make our pizza with that today. So here's the first thing we're gonna do to make it a little different. What you're used to seeing on pizzas, things like sausage, pepperoni, well, we're gonna go a little different on our sausage. One, we're gonna be a little lighter and healthier and use a chicken sausage. And you go into the coolers in the refrigerators now, and you see all kinds of flavored sausage. This one happens to be a Monterey Jack habanero. Little heat, little cheese with a chicken sausage is much better for your health and your summer figure. Yeah, that's coming up too. So what we'll do is cut our ends off. Just score that a little bit so it'll open up. And now you can see some of those jalapenos and habaneros and cheese. And what we're going to do is we're going to throw that in a 400-degree oven while we prep our crust. So we'll take that opened up here, just throw it in. You don't need to put it on any kind of thing special. You could throw that right on the racks inside your oven. All you're trying to do is heat it through. So while that's cooking, we'll throw everything in our little trash bowl here. We're going to start on our crust. So instead of doing a pizza sauce, we're going to go again a little different, give it that gourmet touch. All this is here is a chipotle dressing. You can go to your grocery store, look at the different dressings they have. You want something a little thicker, so we're going to go with chipotle. But you could do honey mustard, you could do a barbecue, a hoisin sauce would be great. So we'll just brush that on. That's going to serve as our sauce. Get a nice thick coating on there. And of course, the more sauce you like, the more you can use. Once we've got that doctored up, now comes the fun part. You're going to put on some toppings. You know, we like onions, so we're going to have a little mix of onions, and of course you're going to start to see some really nice onions coming out. So we're going to start off with a little mix. I like to go with a little bite out of the red onions and a little sweet out of the yellow onions. And those big onions you'll see in the grocery store now, those big yellow ones, they're sweet, they taste great, and balance the red bite even better. Now we do like heat. So we're going to add some jalapenos. You can get a jar of just pickled jalapenos. Run a knife through them a little bit. Make sure they're not too big unless you're a big fan of all that heat. Once you got a knife run through, we'll just kind of sprinkle those all through there a little bit. Get a nice flavoring on there. And then we've got our cheese. Now, what I like to use here is a blend on cheese. This is a Monterey Jack and a Colby. One of the reasons I like to use that, it's great for melting. It'll look fantastic, it'll taste even better, and it won't overpower what you're making. So, now you've got everything set up, all we're missing is that protein that we've chosen. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab our sausage that we had in the oven here, because it's pretty much ready to go. And again, all we're doing, these sausages come cooked already. So all you're trying to do is get it up to a little bit easier to work with. So we're just going to cut that right up. And just cut it into quarters. So you had it in half while it cooked. Now we're just going to come right behind that, cut it into quarters, and then just cut into the small bite-sized pieces. Now, while this is in the oven, we're going to have fun and make a dipping sauce that'll completely fake out your friends. Alright, so now you've got your little pieces. We'll just sprinkle that through and around. Make sure they're broken up real well. And just set that on in there. Alright, got your little side towel. Probably the most important thing you'll have in your kitchen is a side towel. Come back with a little more cheese on top. Not a lot, because again, it's going to melt really well, so you don't need a tremendous amount of cheese. Alright, now that you've got that all set up, what we're going to do is slide that over to something just to move it over, because again, you're going to drop this right on the rack. That's how you're going to get that heat to circulate all the way around. Now, we'll take it right over to our oven. Open up our oven, slide that right on the rack there, just like you would inside a big pizza house, pizza kitchen. We're going to bump up the temp to about 400. Actually, you can go ahead, you can also broil it. You really can go either way. If you want to melt just the cheese on top, go with a broil at about 450 to 500 degrees. Otherwise, put in a 400-degree oven. That'll help heat everything up. Now for the fun surprise. We're going to reach in our refrigerator and grab sour cream. A lot of people keep sour cream around and don't really know what to do with it other than put it on a taco, make ranch dressing with it, all your basics. But what we're going to do, sour cream is the base for a lot of those sauces you see in restaurants. So we're going to make something a little fun. So I'm going to go over here and grab this secret little cup. And inside this cup, I've got what's going to take sour cream and make it a gourmet sauce. Believe it or not, all that's in this cup right here is blueberry syrup. What you find in the waffle aisle, that's all this is. So you take a little blueberry, drop that right inside, and you want to go a little at a time at first, see how it's going to taste, and just stir that up. Now what you're doing is you're adding some color to the sour cream, but you're adding just a little bit of flavor. You're not going to overpower it. It's going to be a little sweet. Now remember, what's the balance of heat when you're cooking? Sweet. So we've got jalapenos and we've got the sausage that has habaneros in it. Now we're going to add just a little bit of sweetness to our sour cream. So give yourself a little taste. It's awesome. It's cool. It's crisp. It's going to be a nice complement. And you know what? I like blueberries, so we're going to dump a little more in there. Now, the other thing you can do if you're really feeling adventurous, because we're coming into season now, is go out to your local blueberry fields and pick blueberries. You can bounce those right into this, muddle them down, crush them up, put them in your sour cream. It'll also give you some texture. So now we've got a dipping sauce ready to go. Let's check on our pizza. Now you've got a nice melt on the pizza here. And again, you can melt it as much as you want. I like to still see those strips of cheese. Now here you go. What you've got here, we're going to move this big cutting board out of the way. And grab a dish. What you got here is a nice pizza, and if you look at that, it looks totally more like you'd see in a restaurant. Not something you see out of the freezer section when you just heated a pizza up for friends to come over. So we'll grab our knife, and we can make slices out of that by just cutting down the middle. Opens it right up. All right, take a slice or two, pop that down on your plate, Kind of turn it just a bit. Always get that good, fresh, fun look to it. Take a little bit of your dipping sauce. Put that right there on the edge of the plate. Now, what you've got here is a summer treat in the spring. Light, bright flavors, bold and vibrant, and it didn't cost you a restaurant price. Thanks for watching Icebreaker Kitchen. We'll be back with more great food and more episodes. See you soon.
Now that sounds delicious. Pizza, it's a crowd favorite. And the recipe looks simple enough that even us guys who may not be as handy in the kitchen, we can't mess it up. So all of our guests should leave with smiles on their faces. I hope you all like that. Now, we got the opportunity to catch up with Mr. Avery Storm as we party hop through the city of New York. He performed at the Delancey. Now, Avery Storm, that name might sound familiar to you because he's been on features with hip-hop artist Rick Ross. I think you might like some of his new stuff he has up his sleeve. Definitely keep it locked and check out his performance. We got an exclusive.
Don't put me down, I'll never let you knock me off my feet. I won't let you win again. The messages I try to send, my information's just not going in. Burning bridges, shore to shore, I break away from something more. I'm not to love until it's cheap. Been there, done that, messed around. I'm not the one, don't put me down. I'll never let you knock me off my feet. I heard about it through chatting teeth, always read about it. Hey, they say that once you get to paradise, you slip and fall in love, can't never live too good for true to be. Like every day you just keep winning the lottery. Well, something's on the underside. There's more to this pretty little paradise. Not so pretty on the other side, and I don't really wanna be here no more. I gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go.
Now that was Mr. Avery Storm, and as you can see, very, very talented individual. I see why Mr. Rick Ross wanted to work with him, because being in the audience, I must say I was completely blown away. So you have to make sure you go online and download his new music. Now, that's it for us here at OCTV. I have to get back to the special project at this undisclosed location in New York City. And I want you to make sure you follow us and stay on top of all the news and fashion entertainment at OliveCocoMag.com. We're also on Instagram at OliveCocoMag, and find us on Vimeo as well at OliveCocoMag or OCTV. I hope you all check back in with us on a regular basis and make sure to catch the next episode of OCTV. We have new news on the horizon, as well as our fashion recap and our exclusive interview with Miss Alicia Quarles. Keep it locked for all that and more next time on OCTV. Peace.